even though I asked on 5 separate occasions, Council refused to address the matter. Thank you.
Great, and thank you for keeping that really close to 2 minutes. Any other speakers for or against this motion? Yes, please come up to the microphone. And if we want to move along a little bit quicker, you can queue up behind the microphone, so that way you're there and ready to speak if you so desire. Thank you. Give us your name.
My name is Peter. I'm BRB. I've been coming to this meeting for a number of years. A few years ago, like 23, 22, was sitting probably in the last row in here, and right off to me was, I think, Councillor Archibald, Councillor Moughlin, and some other person. We were putting all these motions, raising our hands, but these people, they did not pay any attention to that. They were chatting about their own things. Only when it came to the voting, they were consistently voting against the floor. So, my question was and is, who was and, possibly who is the council representing, if people basically ordered people who are supposed to represent us, me, they basically treating us with contempt, obvious in the meeting, and having no shame and not even pretending, they interested in what we as electors want or what is our concern. So yeah, definitely I'm supporting the motion, and I think it is that the electors should be or have to be taken more seriously than it was in the past administrations. Okay, thank you.
And I'm assuming that statement was in support of this and your reasons for supporting that. So if we can keep comments to the motion that's before us. Any other speakers? Yes.
Yes, hi, I'm Alex. I'm new to Fremantle, so I wasn't here last year and I can't speak to that. So procedurally, I feel that point 1 should be separate from points 2 and 3, because 1 is an acknowledgement from the council, while point 2 and 3 is the development of new policies. And it would also make it hard for newcomers to vote on point 1, because it would force me to abstain from voting on that, because I don't know what it was. So I would propose separating point 1 and then having point 2 and 3 together.
Happy to split the vote. Or have 2 votes on this, with point 1 being the first one and the points 2, 3, and the other ones after. Any other comments? No? Great. Would you wish to close on this motion? Okay. Oh, we have microphones now.
I can appreciate that, we could separate the motion into 2 parts. But, at the end of the day, there was a wrong done to the ratepayers. And number 1 basically makes it right. It just acknowledges that last year we should have done better, and going forward, this is how we're going to act. I don't think that's a lot to ask for at all.
So if I may, as someone familiar with generalities, or not protocol, but generalities in a council chamber, if someone has made a request to split a vote into separate items, generally that's accepted. Are you saying that you do not support having 2 votes on this item? Is that, you'd prefer just to be 1 vote, or? Okay. The mover would have to be comfortable with that, so I apologize. All right, so we will now vote on the motion before us in its entirety. All those in favor? Okay. All those against? All right, motion carried. On to motion number 2. And read what the motion is. Yeah, we'll go through all your 4 and then we'll go to the next ones.
This motion is about the South Fremantle underground power.
If you could read the motion, then we'll get a
Yes.
seconder and we can talk.
That the electors of the City of Fremantle demand that Council 1 produce and publicly release by the 1st of May 2026 a business plan for the South Fremantle underground power project, including a project cash flow analysis. B, status of the co-funding and delivery agreement with Western Power. And C, an indicative delivery and staging timetable. Point number 2, disclose the total amount of underground power service charges collected to date in 25-26, including amounts paid to Western Power and the balance held. 3, provide a public written assurance from the CEO that all funds collected are quarantined solely for the South Fremantle underground power project and not used for consolidated revenue, with any interest retained for the project. 4, make the continuation in collecting of underground power service charges conditional upon the production of the documents and assurances in paragraphs 1 to 3. 5, guarantee that should the project not proceed or not reach construction commencement within a reasonable and publicly stated timeframe, all unspent funds will be refunded to affected ratepayers, including interest where applicable. That's it. Thank you.
Do we have a seconder for this motion? Sally McCabe, great. Anything you want to say about this motion, Maria?
Yes, I do. Look, I'll keep it brief, but I do think this is an extremely important project. It's a project that's estimated at 53.8 million, plus or minus 30%, of which affected ratepayers will contribute an uncertain proportion, despite the absence of a publicly adopted business plan, cash flow analysis, or binding co-funding and delivery agreement with Western Power. When we talk about plus or minus 30% additional cost, we're talking of another $16 million for about 2,000 households in South Fremantle. Now, we might get excited about that and say, look, we're getting underground power, who cares, let's pay for it. You're only getting proportional underground power. The transmitters will be up on the ground anyway, so you're only getting half the service that Nedland, the City of Nedland, got with their underground power. But another 16 million could be another $7 to $10 million per household. Now, when you are looking at those types of figures, you should have your cash flow absolutely 100%. You should have a co-funding agreement that sets it in concrete, that says this is going to happen. You are going to need to have a project manager. This isn't a 2-bit project, it's a big, complicated project, and that's how we lose money. We lose money on variations because you're not keeping an eye on it. And that's why I decided to put this as a motion, because it's costing people thousands of dollars and they can't see anything for it yet.
Very well timed. Sally, did you wish to say anything as the seconder?
Oh, sorry.
Thank you.
I just think it's astounding that we've got just a memorandum of understanding and not a signed contract, and yet we're asking our ratepayers to pay money in. And when there is a cost of living crisis, where everyone keeps talking about, and you're asking for extra money already, and I think that 30% plus or minus is significant. And if I was building a project, and the builder said to me it could be plus 30%, we don't know, then that would probably be a big fat no from me. So I think this motion is very important that we get this passed.
Great, thank you. Anyone else wish to speak for or against Bill?
As I live in South Fremantle, obviously very interesting, big interest. I'd also be interested to know who the project manager will be. Given the utter fiasco of the South Beach toilets, $3.5 million for a bog block. Thank you, Mr. Sullivan.
Can we please keep comments to the motion that's
Okay.
before us? Thank you.
I'll leave it at that, but we would want to see the project manager.
I would be speaking in for the motion. I'm just stunned in 2025 that you can take $11 million off ratepayers with whatever charges you came up with and not have a business plan. That is completely amazing. I don't know any private company that would go out and get money for a $50 million project and not have a business plan, not negotiate the prices, not go out and... There's lots of phases to it. I'm not going to bore everyone with it, but no business plan? That's just absolutely shocking.
Okay. Anyone else wish to speak to the motion before us or against it? Okay, then we'll do a vote. All those in favor? Okay. All those against?
Sorry,
Right,
sorry, excuse me.
oh,
I thought I was going to have a concluding.
Oh, it passed. It was approved. And my apologies, Maria. I should have moved that, but it passed. Do you want to move on to the next one, or?
Why not?
My apologies.
I'm on a roll. Right, talking about South Beach toilets. The motion is that the electors of the City of Fremantle request that Council, 1, prepare and publicly release a total, and I mean a total, underline, project cost post-completion report for the South Beach toilets, including the original timeline, approved budget, any revised budgets, and the final total project cost, including all elements of demolition, consultants, plumbing, landscaping, security, fencing, temporary toilet hire. B, a comparison of actual expenditure against budget with explanations for any material variances. C, confirmation of delivery against the approved scope of works, including any scope changes or omissions. And D, an assessment of whether the completed project represents value for money for ratepayers having regard to cost, quality, durability and functionality. And the last point, number 2, table the post-completion report at council meeting and publish it publicly 90 days of the 2026 annual general meeting of electors.
Is there anyone to second this motion? Ian? What was your last name, Ian? Calgett. Thank you. Okay. Did you wish to speak to the motion?
Yeah, look, I just want to do briefly. I guess for ratepayers and residents who don't know me, I have always been interested in the finances and that we get value as ratepayers. I think that's fair. I think the South Beach public toilets was a significant project, and on my last year of council, I actually voted for it, and I think it was 3.4 million. I knew that was too much, but I thought, for God's sake, let's get it done. And then the whole thing went belly up somewhat. And once again, what we want to do is to get transparency from you. I think one of the nicest words in the English language. Now, I come from the Balkans, where we don't apologise too much. But what I love about Australian and English culture is the word sorry. That little word is dynamite because it recalibrates relationships. It recalibrates things that go wrong. And all we ever want as ratepayers to be able to say, look, we didn't, it wasn't 3.4, actually it was 4.5. We're sorry about that, we'll do better next time. I would consider that a huge success. And I think in this project, it's like this project was 45 million, it's more like 70. Why not come out and say it? It's not the end of the world. And that's all we want with this motion. We just want to know how much it cost us. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Ian, would you like to speak to the motion as the seconder? I'm assuming in favour.
I'm not saying anything very different to what Maria's just said, but just in conversation with various people that I know in the vicinity in Fremantle, and everyone has brought this topic up on numerous occasions. Those bloody toilets aren't working again, all these derogatory comments. And I've even had to contact council in times when those temporary toilets were mucked up with all sorts of stuff and couldn't be used. So it is at the heart of many people of Fremantle to see that that hasn't been embarrassment. And I think Maria is quite correct. To be able to give everyone truth-telling, or whatever title they want to put it under, I think it's a good thing for council and for our community. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other speakers for the motion or against? Yes, Helen.
I'm the mother of a daughter who broke her neck in the surf when she was 21. And as you can understand, having access to a toilet block and facilities such as a public beach is really important for people who need assistance to get into the surf. At the last electors meeting, it was deemed that access plus parking would be facilitated at the beach, and I actually feel, considering looking at the facility at the moment, that the council could have done better. And I hope they do continue to improve those access facilities for people who really need them. Thank you.
Thank you, Helen. Seeing no other comments, did you wish to close, Maria? Or we just put it to a vote?
I've got one more motion, so
Okay.
why don't we just take
All will vote on the motion that's here about the South Beach toilets. All those in favor? And all those against? That motion is carried. Thank you. All right, and the fourth motion, do we have that one that we can bring up on screen?
We do.
Great, thank you. Thank you for supplying those too, Maria. I appreciate that.
It's okay, no problem. It's a very short motion, but I'd like to speak to it though. Is it okay if I read the motion?
Read the motion, and then if there's a seconder, we can speak to it.
That the electors of the City of Fremantle hereby express no confidence in the Mayor, the elected members and the Chief Executive Officer in relation to their stewardship, oversight and assurance of the City's financial management and long-term sustainability.
That was from your previous comments. But good timing. Is there a seconder for this motion? Elizabeth, you wish to speak to it?
Yes, I do. Look, I don't think we can talk enough about the finances. And one thing I would like this audience, please do not misunderstand me. This is not about hating on the Mayor or the CEO or the executive at all. But if we are going to lead a life of continuous improvement, particularly in public life, it does take, it takes a lot of effort to be able to listen. It takes a lot of effort to be honest as well. So if we've already said we've made a loss of 6.3 million, when you have a look at the Herald Post, it said everything was rosy. It can't be rosy. You're spending more money than you are earning. 67% of your revenue is your ratepayers. That's not a solution, I can tell you. Not a solution. You need to have a revenue base. Over the last 3 years, we have 40 to 45% have we delivered in our capital works. That's no surprise. It's a pattern. We know what we're doing. We're declaring we're going to spend 29 million like this year, but you know you're not going to deliver 29 million. You're going to deliver about 45% of it. That's deliberate. The administration, we all need administration. We're all proud of our city. We want it to be the best. 40% of our total costs goes into administration. I would love us to have a review and see if we can do better on that, because the only way you've got to go after that is the ratepayer. The resource recovery, there's a lot of murky stuff going on there. I know some of it, it is what it is, but all we want is transparency. And the $20 million asset that we're selling next year, we have to sell it because we're running out of money. Thank you.
Thank you, Maria. Did the seconder of the motion wish to speak?
Thank you. Electors have previously unanimously passed motions of no confidence in the ability or willingness of the council to handle the city's finances and report them in a transparent way. In response to the motion of no confidence last year in the previous Mayor Fitzharding, the officer comment states, it's in the minutes, "Not one single elected member alone is responsible for any decisions of the council." The motion was noted with no further action required. Elected members are entrusted with and paid for making sound financial decisions on behalf of the ratepayers. Thus, according to the above statement, they all are the elected members accountable for the council's decisions, including the transparent disclosure of these in the annual report. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other speakers for or against this motion?
I'm not very good at the whole protocol of how this runs, but all I can see up there is no confidence in the mayor and elected members. The mayor's only been in for, 2 months? Come on, there's no iron team. We're a team, we've got to all back each other, give each other a chance and support our mayor. That's all I have to say.
Thank you. Any other speakers to the motion or against it? Okay, then we'll put this to a vote. Oh, I'm sorry. Did you wish to close, Maria? You've already spoken, Elizabeth. Sorry, but you can close, Maria, if you'd like.
Okay, what I'd like to do in closing, as I said before, this is not a character assassination of anybody. This is about saying it's a two-way street. We need to have a good relationship, and that relationship is based on trust and transparency. Mayor Lorva, you can't cop the lot for it, but you were a councillor for 4 years and you did pass this one as well. So it's not as if you were a Snow White on this occasion as well. So I do say, how are we going to improve unless we hold people to account? This is not about holding hands and singing Kumbaya. This is millions of dollars at stake every year. And therefore, it's a finely tuned relationship that we have with our elected members and our ratepayers. And I would encourage you to say, vote for the motion, and let me go on record. I'll be the first one who will genuflect in front of each one of these administrators and the mayor if we get the finances right next year. Thank you.
Appreciate your comments. So this will be up for a vote. All those in favor? Okay, all those against? Okay, sorry, we may have to do, it was just one off, so if we can do that one more time, it was very close. All those in favor of the motion, put your hand up. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. There was a few more that time. Okay, and all those against? Yeah, that's carried.
Thank you.
Okay, those are 4 motions from Maria Vujic, and I've got another 4 motions from Andrew. Do you have, okay.
Well, it's sort of all combined in the one. And look, I'm open to any sort of amendments for the betterment of the city and the community. It's only my views at this point. Homelessness has obviously become a major issue for Fremantle, with unfortunate people sleeping in the main streets of town. After over a decade or more of various interventions and political posturing, the problem's only got worse.
I'm sorry, Mr. If you could read your motion, and if there is a seconder, then we can speak to it.
Yeah, right. It puts it out of context, so if I don't sort of give the preamble.
That's the process that we have here tonight.
Okay, fair enough. Well, one, to implement...
Can I ask a question? Are you submitting 4 motions or 1 motion in 4 parts?
1 motion, 4 parts.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. The first part of the motion, implement a policy for the safety of the community and the homeless individuals under the only remit available to the City of Fremantle to give authority to the City Rangers / Community Safety Officers with the utmost compassion, move them on from public areas and only after offering them assistance to access the available services. 2, lobby the state government for police and expert mental health assistance in relocation of the homeless to appropriate mental health facilities. 3, to protect the integrity and avoid litigation, only registered charities to be listed on the city's website or be promoted by the city to assist the homeless. And 4, the Fremantle electors give authority for the CEO to implement the homeless policy as above.
Great. Is there a seconder for this motion? Maria Vujic. Would you wish to speak to it?
Yeah, sure. All right, I won't start on the first sentence. So, over a decade or so, various interventions. It's only getting worse on the street with mental illness, drug and alcohol addiction. This is not safe for them or the community. Having volunteered on Beach Street for several years with Orange Sky and Homeless Run Food Service, it was evident through my lived experience and dialogue with our friends, as the homeless were referred to, that the tens of millions of dollars the state government has contributed to organisations like St Patrick's, and that's only part of the, with the various other donations and charity contributions, was not serving our most vulnerable. We've seen regular incidents of mental psychosis causing violent outbursts against our volunteers. It is only a matter of time before we see a tragedy on our streets involving our community. One such example is the Westfield stabbings in Sydney Bondi Junction involving a homeless man with schizophrenia. We should act now before this is a reality here in Fremantle. Homeless friends spoke about the fact their drug and alcohol problems prohibited them from accessing services such as St Patrick's for legitimate reasons of safety and other users of their service. Vulnerable people using the Beach Street volunteer services more than several years later are still on the very same streets with nothing available to them. These are the forgotten homeless of Fremantle. Only state government-run mental health facilities have the expertise to help with this level of homelessness. Nothing in the form of regular, tiny or group housing would be appropriate. Mental health homelessness must be facilitated by expert residential mental health support. The City of Fremantle does not have the expertise to manage this public health issue. Thank you.
Thank you. Did you wish to speak, Maria, as the seconder of the motion?
Look, I'm going to keep this very short. It's mental health. I think where there's enough food, there's enough clothing, there's enough space, but it's mental health, which is the toughest nut to crack. I know the city is challenged financially, so we can't look to the city. But what I would welcome, Mayor Lorva, is have a committee that's made of ordinary Fremantleites, and that we can go, we've got a number of billionaires that live in our city, is to go over there and see them, and they all got their own charities, to see what we can do in a private local government capacity rather than just relying on rates and seeing what we could do. Thank you.
Are there any other speakers on the motion? Okay. Feel free to, you can queue up if you like.
Evelina Hilton. One, I'd like to acknowledge that not every homeless person has mental health issues, so that you're putting them all into a box, for one, because not every single homeless person has mental health issues. The other problem with here is, where do you plan on moving them onto? So if we're giving this authority to our community safety officers and rangers to move them along, where is your plan to push them to? Is it just to move them out of Fremantle so that they're in Coburn or in another council area that it then becomes their responsibility? I would say that as a motion, it hasn't been thought through enough to actually be considered to benefit the homeless rather than just the people who live in Fremantle. We're not actually looking at these people as people and their issues. We're just putting them in a box saying, we don't want to see the homeless people here in Fremantle. Let's just push them somewhere else. So in reality, that motion doesn't work and doesn't treat those people humanely as they deserve.
Great, thank you. Freya?
Thank you. I agree with everything the previous speaker said. Oh, and I'm not very good at talking into microphones. When there was a stabbing mentioned about something to do with some homeless situation some time ago. I don't know about that, but something happened in Mosman Park where a whole family died recently. You know, there was Bondi shootings. There's something happens all around the world. It's not just an isolated situation that we can just target homeless and go, oh, that might happen, you know. We've got to have compassion, because exactly what the previous speaker said, they are still human, and a lot of them I am very fond of in Fremantle. So I have an idea, which is we need a community centre to take the load off St Pat's, somewhere very central and in Fremantle, somewhere where it's easy access, somewhere with that the streeties actually enjoy going to, rather than being made to ushered over to. But I do also believe that if we can alleviate the street situation in Fremantle with a visual impact and, you know, because we've got another situation, which is we've lost a lot of our tourism. We used to have a festive Fremantle, and my brother-in-law is a head drafty in an architectural firm in the city. And I'm just going to talk like this. Can everyone hear me? I hate that. It's like, I feel like I'm in a robotic...
You kind of have to, so this can be recorded. My apologies.
Sorry.
There's about 15 seconds left, though.
Anyway, he said that they had a big meeting in the city, in the office, in this architectural firm that built Yagan Square and had something to do with FOMO and blah, blah. And there was a big talk about Fremantle, and the consensus was that a lot of people are scared to come to Fremantle, and that makes my heart so sad. And if we can gently alleviate the street situation, bring back the festive vibe, we can have the Fremantle back that we used to have. That's all. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Mark, if there are any other speakers for or against this, you can queue up behind, so it'll move a little quicker. Thank you.
Sadly, tragedy has already hit Fremantle with the homeless, and that wasn't because the guy had mental issues or because he was attacked by someone who had mental issues. It was a revenge attack in 2014 down at the wharf. A young guy, not young, say younger than me, he was stabbed to death. So it is a real issue and it needs to be dealt with. And I'm not for pushing people from one block to another, but when the mayoral election was on, and no reflection on Ben, the homeless people disappeared. I drove around for 2 weeks every day, and without getting out of my car, I couldn't see a homeless person. If I did that tomorrow, I could show footage of block after block where there's homeless people. So let's not pretend they can't move people. They can when it suits them.
Any other speakers to the motion? All right, did you wish to close?
Yeah, look, homelessness, you know, it's been around since Jesus was a boy, and you know, I take the question as, you know, compassionate questions in response to that, and as I said, I'm welcoming any amendments to the motion. It's not just, as I said, it's a community problem. It's not just a one-person problem. But I volunteered, as I mentioned, for several years. I'm very well involved and I understand it. But I'm not a health expert. I'm not an expert in that area. And I can guarantee you, as I mentioned for the first questioner, yes, not all homeless are mentally ill. The services that are available now certainly help single mothers or people that are down on their luck or have, you know, can't afford a rental or whatever it may be. They're not mentally ill, and you don't see them on the street. I've never seen them on the street. You may see them on the outskirts parked in their cars, but they're too proud. Most of these women are intelligent people. They're too proud. They don't want to subject their children to violence that happens on beat. And we see it. We tried to get the police down there. We had one of the volunteers with hot coffee thrown in his face. Somebody was having a psychotic episode. It is real. And for those people, I see them all the time. They all have drug, alcohol and psychosis issues of some shape or form, hence why the current services won't let them in. We talked about some shelters and we should build this and that. We already have it. St Pat's, they do a fantastic job. But as St Pat's and the homeless have told me in the conversations that I've had with them, because they refuse to get off their drugs and alcohol, they can't be in those facilities disturbing the peace with people that do want the help. The help is available. It's already there. They can go and get the help. But a lot of them don't have the capacity or are able to do it. We need to have a solution for this, and we can't have them on the main streets. I don't mean about shifting them on because we just don't want them there. We need to look after these people, and I'm looking for a solution because I do care, I am compassionate. It's just not having them in the main street. It's not good for them. It's not, you know, to have tourists walking past them, you know, it's just not good for their health or anybody else's. So thank you. I hope you at least make an amendment to the motion, if not pass it. Thank you.
Thank you for staying close to time there. Motion is before the electors. Can we do amendments right now? Or, I'm sorry, is there a question? Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. What is your question?
No, sorry. I'm just wondering whether the policy is only to move them from, because I was reading it, and I was reading the of the policy. And like, it's to implement the policy, and then like linguistically, that's paragraph doesn't read.
Yeah.
It's to implement the policy to move them from public areas.
So Alex, yeah. So I'm just going to stop because Andrew, you've already closed. It was a question about, so what is before you is what we're voting on. The closing statement has been done, so there are no options for amendments or anything. We vote for or against the words that are up there before us. So I'll put that to a vote now. All those in favor? It is what it is. So, okay. Okay, all those against? Yeah, motion carried. Great. Thank you, everybody, for your time this evening and for being part of a really long process. Those are all the motions that we have before us. Were there any more that were going to be brought from the floor? So we can have a discussion about this afterwards. We're going to get finished up through the meeting, if that's okay. Yeah, okay. There's. Thank you. Yeah, no. Yes, no. we can have a discussion afterwards. But for the meeting, if there's no other motions from the floor, I will declare the annual general meeting of electors closed. And as I remind folks, the questions that were not answered tonight will be responded to in the meeting on the 22nd, and these will go through the council process. So thank you.